I welcome you all in the lecture series of managerial economics. In this video, I'm going to discuss the meaning of market equilibrium with the help of practical example. So kindly watch the video at the end of the session. Damn sure I'll make you very clear understanding about market equilibrium. So what do you mean by market equilibrium? Before moving on to the market equilibrium, let me introduce the word equilibrium. The word equilibrium comes from one of the Latin word called equilibrium. That means balancing or equal balance. That's the meaning of equilibrium. Like in and out. In will be equal to out, like that. Okay. In engineering also, we are using like a concept of equilibrium. In chemistry also, you might have studied the equilibrium concept. Same thing. In simple terms, equilibrium is a state of balance where there is no tendency for change. Correct. No change. Equilibrium. In and out will be same. If you keep a coffee or a tea for a while, what will happen? The temperature, outside temperature and inside temperature becomes same. Same fashion we are going to apply in management as well. Yes. Now we'll move on to the term the market equilibrium. What do you mean by market equilibrium? So the market equilibrium happens when the demand and supply meet at a common price, at an optimum price, I should say. This point is generally called as equilibrium point or equilibrium price, where the quantity of demand that will be equal to quantity of supply, which is exactly required. That will be a optimum price. It will like sometimes what will happen? See, the demand is high. Other side supply is high. Those things are we do not want. We require like a market equilibrium condition so that everything becomes stable or it goes in a better manner. One of the example I can tell you, consider a fruit market. Like there are mangoes that should be sold out. If mangoes are too expensive, what will happen? Less number of people buy. So the sellers have extra stock, more stock. Ultimately, that mangoes become rotten and that will be spoiled. Correct. On the opposite side, if mangoes are very cheap, what will happen? More number of people, they are going to gather and buy all the mangoes. So stock out will happen, right? It will go for out of stock. Suppose if the mangoes are right medium optimum price, neither high nor low, what will happen? Whichever people, those who require, those who really require, they will go and buy. Correct. It never goes like excess of stock or out of stock. So that is what actually called a market equilibrium. I think you got my point. So I can explain with the help of a single demand curve. You can see the demand, the one curve I can show you. Supply demand curve I can show you. Okay. So first of all, you can see the price which is plotted on the y-axis, and here actually the quantity of supply and demand. So I should say that according to the equilibrium condition, at this particular point, the demand will be equal to supply. This is the optimum point where I'll be getting the material with the optimum amount of price. That is very important. This point is actually called the equilibrium point. If it is equilibrium point, the market becomes stable. Okay, it should not be neither low or high. It should be in between. That is actually called a market equilibrium. I think you got my point. Yeah. So there are different type of market equilibrium like a partial equilibrium and a general equilibrium. While we are talking about partial equilibrium, the price of a single product is considered. Keeping other price remains constant. Only the like a price of single product is taken into consideration. So for example, I'll be talking about like a the price of basketball is considered without changing the price of shoe. That is actually called a partial equilibrium condition. So while we are talking about the general equilibrium, okay, if we are to talk about the general equilibrium, price of all goods and services are determined together. Not it's not like a partial equilibrium. It is like both the things will be considered. For example, if the fuel price rise, transportation cost increases, it affects the food prices and wages. Suppose if the for example fuel price got increased, obviously we can say like a transportation cost is very high because my car I need to put more petrol. Apart from that, I need to pay more amount of money for my groceries. Correct? Because it indirectly depending on the lorries. Okay, trucks and lorries. Of course, I need to pay more for my vegetables, fruits, and groceries. That will be actually called the general equilibrium, right? I think you got my point. Yeah. So now, how the equilibrium price is set? So the thing is, the demand curve we can see. So if I talk about like a demand curve, when the price decreases, the demand increases. That is regarding the demand curve, which I mentioned the arrow here. For example, supply curve. When the price increases, obviously the supply increases because people want more profit, right? So that is what I put the arrow like this. The point where they intersect is called the equilibrium price. Both the graph you can see in the previous curve, which I showed you, that particular common point is generally known as the equilibrium price or equilibrium point. All right. So keeping these conditions in your mind also while discussing about the equilibrium price. So there is another example, one of the simple example for explaining the equilibrium price. So regarding the equilibrium price, for example, a bakery, a bakery, it is the bakery sells cupcakes, which is very delicious. Once the price become the shopkeeper made the price very high, like $5 per piece. So fewer people bought, and the cupcake remains unsold. Many of the cupcake remain unsold. That become out of like overstock, right? On the opposite side, what they have shopkeeper does, he like made the price too less. It is $1 per cake. That the more number of people like coming into the bakery, they started purchasing that uh, like cupcake. Then after like what happened, stock out is also happened. Thereafter, what happened? The bakery man, a bakery person, he made the like cost of cupcakes in the optimum manner. That is $3 per piece. So what happened? It become like a supply and demand that has to meet a common point, optimum price, so that equilibrium price has been set. So whenever you are planning for a business, pricing is very important. Pricing strategy. It should not go for like overstocking and stock out, right? So that point you have to keep whenever you're starting a new business. As an entrepreneur, I request you to keep this point in your mind while you are starting a business. Similarly, changes in market equilibrium, increasing demand. If more people want the product, the demand shifted right. When a new iPhone is launched, what happens? Demand increases and the price goes up. That will be happening. Similarly, like increasing supply. If more products are available because of like advanced technology, price reduction, and the supply shift to right, decreasing the price. That is also another point. For example, if a car company produces more electric vehicles, their prices may drop. That will happen because if more amount of more competitors, more see, there are more number of people, more competitors are coming to the market. Of course, price will go down, right? Both the demand and supply changes. We have to talk about both the demand and supply changes. If both increases at the same rate, the price stays stable, but more goods are sold. So here actually you can see like shift the demand, different conditions. Here the first graph says that shift the demand on the market equilibrium. You can see that shifting the demand. This is my equilibrium point. The shifting will be happening from E1 and E2. So the second case actually decrease in the greater than decrease the supply. Here that is another graph which is showing. So ultimately we can say like the market equilibrium ensures price are fair and optimum. The resources are effectively allocated and utilized. Understanding the concept of price setting of and market equilibrium of business, customers and policymakers make the better economic decisions. So that will really helpful for the better economic decision. So the market equilibrium is one of the very important concept for like a better economic equilibrium. Here actually we are like making the equilibrium point. In this graph, you can very clearly can understand that at a particular point, the demand and supply curve will meet see that particular range you can consider as the equal change in demand and supply, that is with respect to market equilibrium, that you can clearly observe in the graph. If you have any queries related to market equilibrium, you can put up the message in the comment box. I'm happy to answer. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you're watching our channel first time, I request you to subscribe. Uh, if the same content is relevant for your stakeholders or related to your friends or colleagues, I request you to share this video and I request your valuable feedback through the comment box. I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you very much for watching this video and keep supporting. Happy learning. Have a great day. Thank you all.